can't pay, so we'll go ahead and do her that. But it's gonna be to her advantage, I mean, when she gets called out,
Oh, I don't mind going down. I don't.
but I mean, if you get called out, but you'll have to, you know, I don't know what,
Do we ever find out if there's gonna be like a minimum or
minimum what?
like if I get called out, is there a
No,
min?
no. No,
For some reason.
and I honestly, I wanted to read the law,
June
but I hadn't had a chance to do it, and I was gonna talk to Linda about it, she wasn't here.
June 3rd.
Or wasn't here when I went back there.
That's, it means you're gonna have to put a line item in there overtime. That's what it means. Cause she's definitely gonna be
I don't
overtime.
know if they give her overtime.
She gets called out
Comp
for
time and a half.
Comp time,
Comp time, that's the
Comp
same
time
thing,
and a half.
right?
well, it's, yeah, I know, but, yeah.
It's paid time off, basically.
Oh, okay.
And also the
Very
donations,
Okay.
Hmm.
the donations also, there's that.
Yeah, I wish the government would quit changing laws and rules. And
We're still looking to see how it's gonna go.
say, I've got one department that, another one that I've got, because he's been
I have
hired.
3 employees in mine, in the editorial that are salaried, that may not qualify to be salaried.
See, that's like where my wife works, I don't know if it's gonna take different, because her and the office manager are going to full time for that.
My wife's the same one, she's salary.
Oh, Miss Fox,
How are you?
well, if I did better, I'd be twins.
Carla's,
Oh, 2 of you.
Carla's salary, but she's
Could
still,
be
yeah, still
scary.
based on certain, yeah.
Well, just straight from
Keep
overtime.
the cook bill
That's
straight.
all it, I mean, it's changing to overtime, isn't it?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
it amounts to.
Yeah, it's to protect the worker,
Yeah,
actually.
that, it is, yeah, that's what it's all about.
Used to be some companies, you could, in order to get, medical benefits and that kind of stuff, you had to be salary, so,
No, you said you pay time
that's
off.
changed.
No, it's not, I mean, you've already worked
It's
it.
based on the number of hours.
Yeah, but
Ours,
it's,
you
it's
be off and you
it's
don't
like
lose no money.
time and a half. I mean, you get
Well,
half the
Carla
time
used to,
again once you.
she used to couldn't get insurance because of her diabetes. But they've changed that now, they keep put a rider. She could get it, but they put a rider.
Use your pen,
They
Wayne.
changed that.
Yeah. That's what we're, my desk.
Sandra?
Oh,
I was gonna ask you.
Can you just sign in as a visitor?
yeah, I'll go in there.
Standards, if I get a picture of my daughter, I put it back in.
Which picture was it? I didn't.
She graduated,
Oh, okay.
she graduated 4 years ago.
Now, was that photo provided to
Right.
us?
I have no idea. It's in the paper.
It dropped.
It rained at our house.
Oh, it's after.
Because usually they send those
Just
to
starting
us.
raining out in Los
I got
Angeles.
home, I don't think they.
Oh, hey.
had
Oh,
course,
good.
but it's great.
Yeah.
When I- when I went-
She graduated, she was on her way to work when I left, working at, Sunday Hospital.
Well, it comes from Smithville that way, didn't it?
Yeah, I started there at 25. So
Everybody signed the,
No.
What's she do?
She worked Saturday, she's making 48
What's she doing?
already. She graduated with 4.0.
Wow,
You go, girl.
that's fantastic.
You have that down?
Yes, they took all 4 years,
Excuse me?
for all 4 years.
It's nice when you feel smarter than you and it. I got you. What did they want? I think they want. She got a 4.0 average all the way through
him to get top man.
What I'm saying, so.
But I know you have.
It's 4 o'clock. Call it getting order. Approve the minutes for the previous meeting. Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Yes, sir.
I need to make a motion to amend the minutes to include the animal control report. I don't think we voted on it last month. I omitted that. And nobody, we had the report, nobody had any complaints. And we just need to,
Can we get a motion? Can we get a second?
I make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Let's go backwards first,
All
motion.
right.
Approve the previous meeting. Everybody in favor? We approved the amendments for the previous meeting, but we didn't get no vote on it.
Okay. I make the motion, we approve the minutes as amended.
Second. All in favor? That'd help department.
Okay. So, the attached service reports are for May of this year. And the health department saw 2,362, well, had 2,362 visits for 2,124 clients. And we also provided 265 vaccines and 1 TB skin test for the month of May. We also just recently filled our vacant nurse practitioner position. I can't announce the name yet just because it hasn't been completely, paperwork hadn't gone through. So we're hopefully, our primary care services will be wide open again with both full-time practitioners there every day. It will take 6 to 8 weeks to train, so probably be September before she'll be there, but, so we'll have a full day of another practitioner. And that's all I have.
Motion to accept the report.
I make a motion to accept the report.
Give a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Thank you, Ms. Butler.
Thank you.
Any other?
I've got one. The monthly report for May 2016. We didn't haul nothing to waste away. We had loads hauled to Southern Central, was 657.69. That cost $27,951.82. That was 109 loads. On the newsprint, we had 15.40, which brought $485, 30 loads. Cardboard, we had 24.76, that brought $742.80, 7 loads. Metal to Southern Central, we had 25.83, brought $2,841.30, 13 loads. We had .39 aluminum cans, which brought $355.50, 2 loads. Collected 14 used batteries, brought in $105. Collection site for used tires, we collected 1,449 passenger tires and 113 truck tires. We collected 370 gallons of used oil. They're still charging a little bit. They went down a little bit on that, but it's not hardly as bad as what it was. And we collected 2.30 tons of electronics and 3.25 tons of plastic. We had a total of 74.2 tons that was recycled money coming back to the county's totals $4,529.60. So we have a total of 21.59 tons was paid to be recycled, 657.69 went to the landfill, so we recycled 13% for the month of May.
Motion to accept the report.
Make a motion, accept report.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Anybody got any questions?
Hey, where you keep going down on there?
Well, what it is,
Recycle.
the garbage keeps coming up. I mean, this time of year, everybody just throwing everything away, you know, cleaning out and recycling, you just, I don't know, you just can't seem about 13-14% about all you can get. And everybody could do better, but it's just ideal doing it at home before you bring it to us, you know. But it seems like the last about 3 or 4 months, we've just been swamped.
Is any money in the recycler, or would it cost the county more money to get in the business?
Probably not. What you see here is, like cardboard, they get 50%. By the time you build a building, and you have to have hands to run it, that about kill what you're getting. And we're hauling it to Coffee County, which is not that far away. It's probably cheaper doing it that way than it is other way. Then you have to have a baler. If you had cardboard, you'd have to have everything to bale it up. You'd either have to get prisoners or hire somebody to, and a building also, number one. So you could get a lot of money tied up in something, which in the long run, it'd be nice. I know Van Buren County, we got that, I think it's like nearly $300,000 grant back in 2005, which we got all our sites paid and bought a new front end loader truck. But Van Buren County, they didn't have like 2 sites, and they built a building and got a, I think it was like a cat, one of these bobcats to do their recycling. So there's a lot of money up front, but you can get grants to help do that. But it might be something later on we might wanna look at. You know, it's be in-house that way.
grants to get you in the business, but to stay in the business costs
It's
county
something
money.
it cost. And like they had a grant out there, I think it's a couple of years ago, they wanted somebody to take this grant and make it, let it be a hub. Well, if you got a hub and you're the center location, you gotta take it from other counties. And it don't always pan out. You know, if you got a big city, you can do that in Nashville or something, but it just be a lot of money, going nowhere with it, really.
You got a question, sanitation?
Yep. It's not just animals I care about the environment too. What do we do as a county to try and promote more people trying to recycle? I mean, do we make it easy? Do we have bins everywhere? Do we work with the schools to promote the kids to, try and understand what recycling, how important it is, and reduce the mess?
Well, now, we have Morrison, they do a good job with that. We've got a plastic bin out there, we got a newsprint bin, and we have cardboard around all our schools. We empty the cardboard once a week when they're in session, so. Well, we're doing about what we can. Of course, I think they want to do something with the plastic and the aluminum cans. And they haven't come up with that yet, but we do. We try to help them all we can. There was one school wanted me to help them, and I went and got the bin ready and everything, and even put locks on it. And end of the year, we had to take it and dump it in a landfill. It has much trash in it. So it's a partnership deal. If you got bins out there, they've got to see that their end is where it needs to be, or it's not going in. And I've done it also another school too. 2 schools didn't work out that way, but I've got Boyd Christian over there. They've got a bin, and of course I know a lot of people in Westwood and the city, they use that. We dump it about 30 times a year out there, and it's out in the open for everybody to use. We have one over there at West Elementary, a newsprint, and everybody uses it. So we've got it, but I know we can always do more. We try to advertise, like this Thursday, we're having a tart day. If somebody brings in recyclable materials, we give them a free 8 to 10 target. Of course, they'll be given away probably in a couple hours.
Yeah.
But that's, we do things, try to promote it, you know.
It sounds like we have an opportunity to maybe push this more with the schools when schools start back into session,
Yeah.
try to get with all of the,
Cause that's where you really teach people when they're young, teach the kids young, and they teach the parents sometimes, you know. But we need to get into that more. And this plastic, it's, I don't know, there's no money in plastic, you gotta pay to get rid of it. And that, everything that you touch now is plastic. I mean, everything, you can't take oil cans, they're contaminated. And so you have to watch on that too also.
well, I mean, I just know, cause my property's right on the Collins River there in Rock Island, and I can't tell you how much garbage people dump in that river.
And they throw it, yeah, I've seen it too.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's terrible that we have such a beautiful county and people don't care about it. I mean, it's,
And also they're having this river cleanup, I think it's 16th, and of course I got a call today, we're gonna help with it a little bit. Like Shells Ford and Highway 8, they're trying to clean up the Collins River.
But if we didn't have this, how bad would it be?
And they used to do that.
That's
Back
right.
in early 77, when the sanitation department started, and used to, before that, they throwed it in sinkholes and ditches.
I remember people doing that, filling sinkholes up close to the river.
Yeah, and that's why they're getting out of
And
rivers.
the spring of
right
the year, it'd
now.
all be cleaned up.
Yeah, wash it out with it, yeah. But, that's some of the things that this group here in town also is working on that. But I agree, I mean, people, you go down the road, it makes you so mad when it just blows out. You'll be following a vehicle and it just blow out all over the road, and they don't even hit the brake light, just keep on trucking, you know.
Any more questions?
I got a motion and a second. Steve's report.
We already got the motion.
Already got the motion and a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Ken, the next.
Okay, this year, this month, or month of May, 83 dogs was taken in. 2 were returned to owner, 13 was adopted by regular adoption, 2 were grant-funded adoptions, 50 went to rescue. We had 2 die of natural causes, that was part of it. Two euthanasias, 1 done by me, 1 done by the vet, because it was run over, and I have to have it checked first, and it was there, so we just put it to sleep. It had a broken spine. At the end of the month, we had 28 dogs and 28 cats. 1 return to owner fee was waived, and we had 6 crates donated with approximate value of $100. I responded to 24 calls. We took in $765 in adoption money, 50 for return to owner, so the total receipts was $815.
Motion, second report. Need a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Question? I got a question. I've been in calls and taking in city cats. You taking in city cats now?
I've always taken in city cats.
You charging the city? Because we charge Bowles, Boston, Centertown for cats and dogs.
No,
Well, we're gonna have to look at it, but they ain't in the policy now, to take in city cats, we can't do that. Because they got a shelter themselves.
they don't have any,
They got an animal shelter themselves.
I understand that, but they don't have any facilities for cats.
Well, they're gonna have to get a facility. It ain't in the policy manual to retake it. I haven't found it, that's how I overlooked it. You either charge them what we charge Bowles and Centertown and Marston, take in the cats, and you can't take in the cats no more. Till you get a policy, till you get the policy amended.
that something to go to to a vote, or?
And gotta go to the full court. Gotta be put on the docket.
Well, I say that we make a motion to do that.
And am I not allowed to take them until then?
Can we get a claim passed by the full court?
Got a question?
Go ahead.
I think y'all have answered it. I was just asking if it's not in the policy book. Y'all already answered. Y'all are gonna put it in the policy book, correct?
We're gonna put it on the docket next month. The docket already went
All right,
out.
let me catch up.
But it's not in the policy book, not
To-
to
to
pay the
set-
city
right.
cats, right?
But-
It's not in there.
We charge Boston by all the Centertown, out of the city to pick up cats and dogs. It's in the
What is
policy.
but is it in the policy book?
We have proved,
Okay, you
approved
answered
it.
my question.
Every year we must pass a policy, what we're gonna charge to pick up dogs and cats involved in the city, in Boston, involved Centertown, cause they are city.
Bring them in.
Huh?
What if they bring them in?
And they still supposed to charge them if they live in the city.
If we do this now, where there's no place to take them, that's gonna mean a lot of cats dumped at our gates, because they're used to us taking them, and they're just gonna dump them, and then they're gonna become feral and a severe problem.
Where the city need to take care of them. We put money in ours, and right now, we putting more money in our facility than the city. If you get the policy manual approved and changed, just stop.
Can I ask, why don't you just approach the city and ask if they pay for it? I mean, that's an option too. I mean, if Iola and the rest of the cities are paying, you're providing a service for the city.
But we ain't gonna yet, I'll let it get when we get finished with this question.
I don't mind approaching them.
Viola and Morrison.
In Centertown, pay, we go out there, pick up a dog and cat, we have passed a resolution what we charge picking up a cat and dog. And then people that got part of the city,
They pay.
supposed to be paying.
How much do they pay? How much we're talking, $10?
About $10 or $35 for a dog and $10 for a cat, I believe. But I gotta see the resolution we pass every year to charge them.
Morrison and Centertown each pay.
About
Viola, Morrison and Centertown each pay. So we need to get a motion to. Somebody help me out here.
How would you word it?
well, we would get last standing to write up a resolution and we would.
It's just
send it,
motion
pass
to,
it.
motion to.
Yeah, get a motion, get last stand to write a resolution, so we can pass it in full court and send a copy to the city that we no longer be able to put cats down there. We charge them what we charge the other 3 cities.
Motion to get county attorney to
Do a resolution. We charge the maximum of what Alden, Marcy, and Centertown pay to take in their cats.
But we don't take dogs from the city though, right?
No.
Okay.
As of now, I am the only place in the whole entire county that does anything with cats. Besides Jamie's sanctuary, I mean, and she's not taking any new animals, so this is gonna create a huge problem until it's done.
See, we need to know it as a committee. You know, I get phone calls y'all taking in city cats. But I've been seeing the city man go down there a lot, but I just don't follow him. I've been seeing him run that way a lot.
That's usually
The
when
city
it's-
and I work closely together on a lot of things.
I understand that, but, we get some income.
This is something that's been happening since way before I got here.
If I can find it in the book, it'd be different, I'll look again. But there might be some stuff the committee didn't know about. You got a question?
Yes, it's not pertaining to this. Kim, you said you brought in X amount of dollars for adoption fees. Okay, where does that money go? Does that go back into spay and neuter? Or does that go
It goes
into the
into the
general
general
fund?
fund.
Okay, so it does not go to help spay and neuter more animals?
Anything she bring in gotta go back to the general fund by the policy.
Now, I'll just make a statement. I think it's a real good thing that the city and county is not charged for the private rescues that are rescuing animals in this county and city.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Mr. Martin, Chairman Martin, so in order to do it correctly, in the past, we've had a resolution to do it for Viola and do it, and.
We pass one every year.
When were those resolutions passed?
I can get a copy of it for you tomorrow.
We pass it, it's something we do every year, it's like,
It's
we
every
redo it every year
Right.
for those cities, and we've just never done it for McMinnville.
Well, I didn't know they were taking in cats, so I got a few phone calls. Somebody must make some people mad.
All right, before we go on anything else, we need
Get a motion to approve this resolution to let Larry Standing drop a
motion to get a
Contract
county
with the
attorney
city.
to write a resolution for the city to take the same on cats to go to the county commission.
Need a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Need a second?
Yeah, I would take it.
All in favor?
Did you say? Okay.
All in favor? Aye. There you go.
Well, how was the vote?
Call roll.
Savage, yes. Martin,
Yes.
I remember when we put them in order every year, but I can't. Like it's an alternate.
Abstain.
abstain? Okay. And Teddy, you vote yes.
Mhm.
4-1. Any more questions before we get to the budget again? No more questions, we're going to the budget.
Update Linda's numbers as of today.
Jim, I thought you had a veterinary service up to $7,000, it's only $6,700.
I don't have a copy of my original one with me.
Yeah, you got a budget like that?
Yeah, I've got this.
Yeah,
I
she
don't-
got it behind there too, we're gonna vote on it.
Well, revenue was $7,000, went from 6,000 to 7,000.
You say, why is it an increase?
I don't know, it went from like from 6,000 to 7,000, you increased it one time for $7,000.
And that's why I done it, because I'm over on my veterinarian budget.
Well, you over on 4 account last time I looked.
Well, I understand that some of the accounts are over, but I have no control over how many people adopt an animal. And that's what my veterinarian budget is basically spent on, is adoptions and spay and neuters.
We ain't collect enough money.
I've collected more than enough money.
Well, if you run it over, we're gonna have to increase it more.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Paul's Clinic had not spayed and neutered so many animals for us this year, my veterinary budget would probably be around $9,000.
One thing
And
you went over on was your building maintenance, where you had to redo that.
Yes, but I didn't, I mean,
Well, say, you didn't run over it, but you
I
got the
didn't.
bill for it.
Right, I got the bill for it, but I had no control over either one of those. I didn't choose who done the roof or who fixed the driveway. And I cannot budget for something I don't know I'm going to have to spend on.
I understand that, but like I say, you're running over on 4 accounts.
On my medications, I was over, and I asked to increase that. I'm not the only,
I'm just saying what.
I
I'm just saying
understand, but it's
what
almost
you
like
is
you're,
running over and you don't have enough money to cover your bills in June. We're gonna have to move money around, if you ain't got no money to move around. That's the only thing I'm saying.
there is money left over.
Well, we gotta see how much money you spend on them other 4 charges you running over.
And we have deposited enough money in the general fund to more than cover anything spent on veterinary bills.
Better go to general fund right now.
Exactly, but and my deposit money, my donation money that I deposited was almost $3,000, and I included that in my last budget amendment thing. That was supposed to be added into my budget so I could spend on veterinarian bills, because I was told by our county executive, any money,
Which county is that?
Mr. Wells,
He told me that.
well, he told me whatever I brought in deposits, we could increase my veterinarian budget, because that's what the money was originally raised for, was veterinarian bills that the county does not want to have to pay for. And so, we have fundraisers, and these people bring me this money, and it goes into the donations, and it's supposed to be used to treat animals, and it's not being used for treating animals. I don't know what it's being used for.
Actually, when Kim treats animals, it does save the county money though, because you had to take the animals to the vet.
And some of it
And
is,
you're
I mean,
cutting out.
there is some, in my veterinarian budget, there is some that where a dog has been run over. I have to take it to the vet. I can't just say, okay, this dog's hurt enough, I have to take it in and put it to sleep. I have to take it and get a vet to do that. Tell me it's got a broken spine, it can't be saved.
Right.
Something like, I can't take somebody's dog and just automatically put it to sleep because it's been hit on the road. Us as a county and as animal control, we are responsible to treat animals better than what we require our citizens of this county to treat their animals. So I have to have a budget for this.
Well, what I'm saying, it actually saves the county money when you can treat them there
Exactly.
in-house, rather than having to take them to the vet.
Right, but some of them do have to go to the vet,
Yeah.
but I get medications and treat them. It's not, they're not staying at the veterinarian office for a week at a time getting treated. I treat them. I can give subcutaneous fluids, I give shots, I do all that stuff. But it's something I've gotta have in my budget to be able to do it.
That's why I say you don't have to, but you, like I say, you're coming up short. We still
I
talk
don't-
about the
but
budget.
I know, I understand that.
But I would have to put $9,000 or $10,000 in the veterinary budget to cover all of these costs, all the adoptions that got done last year. And y'all are not going to increase my budget by that much. And I have no control over how many dogs and cats get adopted. If you've got an answer for that, I'd be glad to hear it, because I don't know how to, I mean, I don't know how to guess how many animals we're gonna adopt.
Well, you need to increase your budget. I don't know, they gonna approve it or not.
Well, it's been kinda obvious that I don't get very much past.
What budget, what are you over right now?
Those areas right there, they, all of them are in bluish color there, where finance, that's.
$2,100?
Mhm. Yep. I got 6,700 by Linda's budget. On veterinary services, she's at 6,700 right now. That's where that extra 700 come in. And this is just going by a $2 raise, which is what, was brought up in the, budget and finance meeting a couple of weeks ago. If you do just the raise with the money that she's over, add to that in order to make sure that she isn't under what she needs, that would be a $5,400 increase, basically. If you take out the $750 out of those other supplies and materials and $750 out of other equipment, it would bring it down. Or actually, it would be $5,494 with that. Without it, it'd be $6,994. Yep. But that's all. There's no other increases other than her wage, and then of course the increase in what she's went over with veterinary services and the building we know about.
But she was below budget on gas money.
Yeah, I just didn't know if we wanted to touch that because it
It could go back up.
will, yeah. I just didn't touch anything.
You wouldn't want to change it
Yeah.
because we can't tell next year, you may be paying 3.5 a gallon, so. That has helped it going down.
Any more questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Yes, others.
Okay, first on the issue about whether funds in general fund can be designated to specific costs. County Executive Wells specifically told me that yes, that could be done. That if people wanted to donate money to animal control veterinary expenses, it would go into the general fund, but that it would be notated in the general fund that that's exactly what it is for. The second thing I had is that when I came to the meeting a couple of months ago, I asked Commissioner Martin how salaries were set and if there were salary scales, and basically you all told me that you didn't know.
We don't have a salary.
You don't,
scale.
okay. Well, so then I went and I asked the personnel and policy. Over a month ago, I wrote them an email and asked them for that information, and I have never received a response from anyone.
Because they don't have one.
Well, they still owe me a response.
Well, I want to tell you, I sat on chairman policy and personnel for 8 years. They don't have a policy for a scale wage. Nobody does.
Well,
No department knows.
well, and
Only body
that's,
that come
I
close
guess,
is the sheriff's
unfortunate.
department.
That's unfortunate. I mean, you mean to tell me that you have employees that you bring in that if you were gonna hire a new animal control director, you would just throw a number out there and hope that somebody would take the job for that amount?
Well, it's been happening before.
Well, this is
Well-
2016. Is that an answer?
Well, that's what every department do. You would take the job, you know what the job paid before you took it. You know what the job paid before you took
Could I
it.
ask you what the original first question was?
My original first question was,
As the
my
money to be
comment
donated to animal control be designated just
to
for care of
specific,
animals.
yes, to specific, it goes into the general fund, but it can be designated specifically for veterinary expenses or building improvements or whatever that person donates that money for.
As long as they pass a resolution to approve that. There gotta be a resolution passed for all that stuff.
Well, I'm telling you what the county executive told
I'm
me.
telling you, everything is passed by the full court, if you're gonna designate that money to a certain cause, it gotta be approved by the full court. He just can't say this money gonna go out, he don't have that authority. It gotta be a resolution saying where that money going.
Well, that's not what he led me to believe, but that's certainly
Well,
something.
I'm telling you, it goes straight to the general fund. And the general fund, if you got money wanna be designated to a certain thing, you gotta be, a resolution gotta be passed.
So we need to set a resolution to set up an adoption fund or the money for
Medical
the adoption.
services.
Yeah.
Set
Because the
aside.
money going in general fund,
I mean, this, okay.
and you gotta be approved by.
Because Applebee's they just raised money again for us, and that's probably they wanted to raise more this year than they did last year. So, I mean, that's money that is going into the general fund that is supposed to be used for animals, for their veterinarian services, that is not being, so that looks like that's a misappropriation of funds to me. I mean, it's not being spent on what it was raised for.
But
So,
you ain't got no resolution saying what that money go for. Don't you understand? I want to tell you something. You need to set on budget and finance. If you didn't go and talk to people at CTS, they would tell you to set up funds to go to certain things, you got to have a resolution passed. You just can't go there and pull out $5,000 out of the general fund, so I need $5,000 for animal control today.
But if people are raising money for this specific thing, should that money go to that specific thing and not into the general
If
fund?
you got a resolution.
Well,
Okay,
then
I will make a
we need to
resolution.
make a resolution.
I will make a resolution that the money that is donated to animal control is set aside in the budget to help with veterinarian bills and with spending. I don't know exactly how I need to word that, but
We
that's
need
what.
to make a motion for a resolution.
You gotta get that written up by the lawyer.
They can do that. What do you gonna call a line item?
You gotta have a line item, all that, you gotta get with Linda.
I'll do that tomorrow.
Services, probably.
She wasn't here today. She was.
Medical services, probably.
You better make it a little bit broader than that.
Adoption service, well, let's see.
No, you better make it a little bit broader than that, because people are gonna go to Applebee's, they're gonna want this money not necessarily go to, veterinary services, they may want it to go to, you got a door that fell down, and you need it put up today. We can't wait for Greg or whomever to get over there, you know, and I can't come over there and put it up.
Right.
We have to have it put up today. So I think it needs to be something that,
And actually,
Time.
we did just have that problem. I had a dog escape and was loose in the building. He got in the bathroom and shut the door and tore my bathroom door to pieces. No one could even go in and use the restroom, so I had to go buy a door. My husband come and put it up.
Just make it to the expenses, extraordinary expenses for the animal control and adoption.
donation expenses, how about that?
It probably should be in that resolution that it's, somebody's gonna have to approve it.
Right.
It's just not at her at will to
Yeah.
spend it for whatever, but,
Would it be in her budget? She'd be the one to approve
It
it.
won't be in the budget, it'll be a line item
yeah.
by itself.
But
Well, we could set that aside with two people. We could set it up with the chairman and the director.
right.
Mr. Boyd made a motion that any money donated to animal control be used
For animal control
within animal control itself.
guidelines.
Okay. Made that motion.
I second it.
wanted to write it up.
Since they've changed the ruling on the hourly employees and salary employees, has anybody done any research on?
Start in effect December 1st, 2016.
Do what now,
It'll
sorry?
go in effect December 1st, 2016.
That's correct. I know. But we're gonna have to base her budget when we do it, is we might, we'll go ahead and do it by the hour now, instead of having to withdraw it and, I mean, if we put in by salary, we already know what the hourly rate's gonna be. But Kim wants to know if has anybody done any research, is that, we know it's no overtime to it, it's gonna be comp time.
Right.
But what is gonna be the minimum, is it 1 minute, or is it 4 minutes, 4 hours, or is it when you called out to a call, is that, how is it gonna count out?
Okay, I talked to Linda the other day, and she said that you would fill out a timesheet as soon as you got the call. And then fill out a timesheet whenever you got back, and it'd be based on that.
Okay.
And
No increments?
I don't know if there's a minimum, I don't know if there's a 1 hour minimum, I think this is something we don't know all the details about yet.
That's why I'm
And
asking.
really, when you're dealing with federal government, who does know all the details about it?
Well, that's what I told her, I just wanted to make sure I was,
Anything over 40 hours is comp time and a half. That's the way I understood it.
correct.
So this is not to penalize people like Kim, this is a worker protection.
Right, I have no problem with this.
I have a question. If you're talking about Kim's not gonna be getting overtime, so she's gonna be working less hours, basically. I mean, there's gonna be times that if you have to go out on calls, you're not gonna be able to cover the shelter. So we're going to have more hours from somebody else to cover the time that she's.
No, Kim could come in at 10 o'clock, Kim come in at 12 o'clock, put her
Or
hours
she
in.
would leave early.
Yeah, but
That's what
who's
she's
gonna,
saying.
yeah,
Yeah,
who's gonna,
that's
so
a-
if she leaves at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, who's gonna cover the shelter?
Well, she
from
got
2 to
2
5?
part-time people.
So.
And Kim gonna make out a schedule for her part-time people, how they gonna work.
So that's going to increase those costs.
No, it ain't gonna increase the cost, because the part-time people only can get 29 hours a week. Kim
They
gotta
called
figure
out
out
a
how,
lot of stuff.
Kim gonna have to figure out how they gonna cover 7 days a week, or 6 days a week down there.
Somebody's covering it now.
But right now, you gonna figure out who covered every day. If they leave at 12, if they come in at 6, 7, 8, leave, put their hours in, get their 29 hours in.
What are the hours to the public down there?
8, we're open from 8 to 4. In the afternoons, the girls working part-time like to work the morning hours while their children are in school. So they do not have to pay babysitters. I'm there in the afternoon unless I'm called out on a call. And it says on our message machine that, you know, if you're gonna bring a dog or you need to do a drop-off, then it's best to come in the morning hours because somebody's always there at the shelter from 8 to 11:30. And afternoons are best by appointment. A lot of afternoons, I'm there till 4 o'clock. Other afternoons, I'm on calls. And there's a sign on the gate that says we're responding to calls when the gate's shut.
When you're not there?
Mr. Boyd discussed the new salary per hour and how overtime would be paid in comp time and so forth. How long does it usually take you, Kim, whenever, like you get a call that the dog run over somewhere? it's probably not less than an hour.
No, generally, especially, the after-hours calls, like, I mean, I get called at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Last time I was out that time of the night, somebody had hit a tree, and they just left their dog in the truck and took off. I had to go get the dog, take it to animal control, drop it off, and back to the house, so it's generally at least an hour.
This is my opinion, the only way would be just to write down the time that you left and the time you got back. I mean, that's my opinion, that doesn't mean it's how it would be, but that would be my opinion how to do that. Because there's not gonna be no two situations gonna be the same.
I think generally there's a minimum, you know, that you,
Yeah.
like, if I go out on a call, would be an hour, you
Yeah.
know, or,
I'll say you can do very much for less than an hour.
right.
Depends on where it happened too.
Correct.
If it's
Yeah.
on the
If it's on the other side of
Van
the
Buren
county.
County line, or if it's on the Cannon County line, or from wherever you're located, it's gonna take X amount of time to drive there and come
Right.
back.
Well, this is opening up new territory for us, so.
Yeah.
I think what Tommy, I agree with Tommy, I think the only way to deal with that is to write your time that you leave and the time you return to keep up with that.
If it was in the middle of the night, and let's say it was a dog with a broke back or something, you just have to take it down to animal control and just leave it till you can take it to the vet.
Generally, that's probably what I would do. I mean, if it's something that it's bleeding and if I don't get it to the vet by, it's gonna bleed to death, then I'm gonna call Dr. Young and ask him, can he meet me at the office, and generally he will be there.
So you have had to do it before.
I have, but it's generally not at night. I have called him on Thanksgiving, but that's when we were allowed to have, he come out and met me at the building, at his office on a Thanksgiving day. But that's when I had a donation account at Dr. Young's, and I could take things out there and get them fixed or you know, do whatever needed to be done. And that paid for it because it was after hours, and I was told I couldn't, you know, charge the county. So that's what we had that account out there for in the beginning. But then I was told that was a misappropriation of funds and could not have it any longer. So that's when I was told that if the money was donated, it would go to my, you know, it would be set aside for veterinary services.
So what if I understood that part right, I could in the past have gone to Dr. Young and said, here's $100.
Yes,
And the
ma'am.
next time animal control comes in, use that, but that's not allowed anymore.
Not under the state comptroller. They gotta know where every penny is going.
It's not something we.
It ain't nothing we can do, it's under the state. The state writes the guideline for the money, which line item it go in, everything.
Well, this is actual money that I never even touched. It was just donated out there.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking, you know, that would be a transaction between me and Dr. Young
Correct.
for animal control to use. And that would really be in their possession
Correct.
until you needed it, so nothing else enters into it. It doesn't appear to me that it would be a violation of anything, but I'm not state control.
That's right. They check the books every year, see why.
I worked for the state for 30 years, and
Right.
I've been there and done that.
Go ahead.
I'm wondering how this comp time's gonna work out for Kim. I worked at the sheriff's department, so I'm familiar with comp time, loved it. But there's one full-time employee, 2 part-time employees. How in the world is she gonna be able to use her comp time?
They'll just have to shut the doors.
Shut the doors. When the part-time get their 29 hours in, the door's shut. If she's on vacation for a week, and they get 29 hours in, that's it.
So both of your part-time people work the same hours?
Brandy usually works Monday, and she usually stays like one afternoon a week till 4 o'clock. And I go out and try to do all my calls I've gotten, while she's there, so the building is open. But that doesn't always work. Sometimes I have to go right out if it's a sick dog or, one in bad shape or something. Deidre, she always works morning hours. She has 2 kids and she's trying to help raise 2 more that's not hers, so they don't have money for.
If you could
Childcare.
stagger their hours, one work in the afternoon and one work in the morning,
Yes, ma'am.
that would,
And
Keep
that would be
someone there.
ideal, but they can't afford childcare. So they work morning hours when they do have their children in school, and they don't have to pay childcare.
Who comes in and feeds dogs, waters, all that on the weekends?
Excuse me?
Who takes care of the dogs is on?
Brandy works
Sunday?
Saturday, and Deidre works Sunday.
So you're rotating them as best as you can right now.
because collectively, that's 58 hours.
That's about all, both of them can work a week.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, it's 58 hours, so that should leave one person there at all times.
Ideally, it
And
would,
animal control.
but I mean, that's just what they have been working since they've been hired, and that way they don't have to pay childcare, and I try to work around that so that I can they're both very good workers. I don't wanna lose them because, so I try to, and has never been required that the building is open. The entire hours were, that we're scheduled to be there.
Say Brandy usually works Saturday and
Deidre works
Deidre
on
works
Sunday.
on Sunday.
Now, we're gonna get back to the budget. Any more question on the budget?
Does that make sense to everybody what I did? I mean, the bottom line is, we got back to trying to get him up close to what the lowest paid director is. That's what it is when they come out to what, 13.32?
Yep.
13.32 an hour, that's Linda's numbers. And that's why there's an increase in the Social Security and state retirement, because that takes into that account. And then I made a note at the bottom that the same raise given to everybody else would apply to the part-time, like we normally do.
13 what per hour?
13.32.
I'll make sure that I write Kim's raise to 13.32 instead of 13.32.
Well, what's got me concerned is on the other equipment, we lowered it to $750.
I don't think we spent anything of that yet.
It should say on here.
This is, let's see, they moved 500 out of it for some reason.
Yeah, put that in my medical, so
Okay.
the medication.
Yeah, they hadn't spent any of it other than they moved 500 out, to cover those medical expenses. That's why.
I needed to buy shots. With the December outbreak last year, we have up the protocol that It's where we're giving the puppies a shot every 2 weeks until they're either adopted or go to rescue. And so that increased that money.
On the dogs that go to rescue, do they just have to have their shots? Do they have to be spayed and neutered also?
No.
Just shots? The shots and a health certificate basically?
Yes.
Okay.
And we don't, the animal control does not pay for the health certificates, the rescuing agency actually pays for that.
Okay.
And like, if there's a dog that needs treatment for something, they take them up there and treat them, or they pay for the treatment itself. You know, like if they need a heartworm treatment, sometimes they take them up north and treat them, and sometimes they just treat them here, but it's actually paid for by the rescuing agency.
And I must want to rescue the shots and treatment are paid for by the rescue.
Yeah, the shots are not, but the treatment,
Oh,
any
shots
treatment
are
they
not.
need. We give
You do the
every,
shots yourself?
Yes.
Most times, except rabies.
yes, we just have to buy them. The only thing I can't give is their rabies shots.
Mr. Chairman, we need an approval to send this to Budget and Finance now.
Yep.
I have
Get through.
I have one question about the rescue, if I could, before you vote on that. It was, I'm not sure where this came from, or if this was just a directive to Kim, but that the county can no longer transport animals to rescue. Is that the case?
Once she get on the clock, time clock.
I was told by our county executive I could use that, to call them anytime I wanted to, anytime I needed to.
County executive ain't overruled a lot of stuff. Cause if you have a rat living dog and the county gets sued, you get hurt, you got your hours in, the county gonna get sued. And then you might want to feel trouble.
Sued for doing their job?
Well,
Well, that'd be no different than Steve having a wreck, you know, if he
well,
drove.
we know Steve gotta go out of town, it's part of his job to
No.
drive, his job to drive the truck. And you pass a resolution so she can rescue dogs,
But
take them
that's-
out of county.
But we've already proved that's part of adoption, and that's.
You
that's
approve adoption, you didn't approve nothing about rescue to take them out of town.
the same thing.
It's all part of animal control. I am controlling the animal population in this county by taking them to rescue.
I will get a thing from the attorney and make sure.
Okay.
I will get a resolution so the county will pass it.
We need to get a question from the county attorney if this would be
Right.
legal.
Right. So we need a motion on, to send this back to Budget and Finance as written.
Edric, first you gotta rescind the old resolution. The old budget, before you can pass a new
Attorney,
one.
wait, y'all, wait a minute. Request for county attorney. These are usually transported across line. But we don't want to go across, because it could be somewhere else.
Yeah, it could be.
Could-
It's generally
Could
across, but
transport
it could be.
animals. Request for county attorney to advise if Kim could transport animals and be covered
Off the clock.
off the clock.
I don't think you can, cause once you start feeling that time, she's on the clock. Period. Unless she ain't got 40 hours in. That's
How
the
many
law.
can you haul at a time, Kim?
Well, It just depends.
Last month, you had
Size
80
matters.
You had 84 that went to rescue. How many trips did that take?
I think we took one every week last month. And I even, one trip, I borrowed a trailer that is made for hauling dogs. And I put as many as I could get in the truck, in the front, in the cab of the truck, in the back of the truck, and I put them in the rest of them in the trailer. And it just depends on how
How the weather is?
the weather, the size of the dogs, the temperament of the dogs.
Well, you just put in stackable cages in there.
Yes. Well, in the trailer, it's actually divided off in 4 sections, and I put 2 or 3 dogs in each section.
Why is this off the clock?
Excuse me?
Why is this off the clock?
Because when December 1st comes, when she goes fill a timesheet out, she can't work off the clock. By law, she got to be paid.
But
Yeah.
I think she's
asking
asking,
why-
why would doing the rescue, if that's part of the job, why would that be off the clock?
Right.
Because once you get 40 hours in Monday through Friday, and then you decide you're going to deliver dollars on Saturday,
But she's talking about going through the week while she's on the clock.
she,
Right.
She
A
can-
lot of times it's after hours I do this.
Yeah.
Like,
I
But
mean-
you could flex your hours. I mean, if
Right.
you had
I'm not sure
Deidre
it's Monday
and,
through Friday.
if you had Deidre and you had Randy in the mornings, you could flex your hours to cover that.
They can't
I mean, it
She's
shouldn't
on
be
call.
something you have to do off the clock. That's part of the job.
Well, that's where the time sheets come in anyway.
right.
Had an old person moment there.
Get a blonde one.
That's called a senior.
Blonde moment. I hope your equipment's working tonight.
I hope it is too. I'll guarantee you I'll get it somehow.
You have a question, Becky?
Okay. Ms. Wood?
Yes. Okay, going back to the comp time. And you said that Kim would just have to shut the door,
right,
just close it down?
right,
How can you do that with live animals?
that's somewhat that's what
There's never ever gonna be a time that the animals are not cared for. I mean, even back when I first got hired, no one come in on Sundays, ever. The cats, dogs, if they were dirty, needed fed, or had no water, they never come in on Sunday. It was closed. Even in the heat of the summer. I went in every Sunday and fed and watered the animals and cleaned, because that's abuse. If a dog is there all day long in 110-degree heat, and the county cannot be abusing animals, that's just not gonna happen. So I never ever got paid for that. But I'm an animal lover. I'm not gonna let the animals suffer, even if I don't get paid for it.
Is there no room in the budget for a second full-time employee?
No, they won't do that. I tried.
we got counties big as us, only have 1 full-time, 2 part-time.
So in other words, you 3 workers are gonna have to give extra time that you're not getting paid for.
No,
No, just when, as long as the animals are taken care of, and if the hours are up, then we just go home. But the animals will be cared for first. That's first and foremost.
So in other words, you can work it in.
Yeah,
You're open 8 to 4:30,
8 to 4.
8 to 4. 8-hour day, 40 hours, and then on Saturday,
Excuse me,
you're open 8 to 12,
8 to 11.
8 to 11, 43. And you've got 2 people that work 29, and then you work
Well,
40.
Deidre very seldom ever works her full hours.
Right.
The whole 29 hours.
Children.
She does what needs to be done, and then she prefers to go home.
So if
she
Kim
just gets-
if Kim had to leave on comp time, I don't think they're gonna put out enough feed and water. Animals not gonna suffer.
Right, that's not ever gonna happen.
No.
Animals are not gonna suffer for any time somebody's gotta be off.
But I will get with the county executive, he got something he need to tell you what he gonna do, he need to come tell the committee. That's the way it works. County executive don't override a committee. If he don't have a vote, and he don't have a say something, he can come in and voice his opinion.
Well,
And he will come in.
it wasn't a committee decision, it was your decision.
I ain't my decision.
It was.
I was saying you can't do what you gotta do on the clock, when you're off the clock.
No, you said at the budget committee, I was not gonna be able to use the truck to haul animals.
Now, off the clock you won't,
Well,
and I would tell him that. He would come address the
that would be the
committee.
thing to do then.
But you should be on the clock.
I'll just be on the
Well, I
clock.
won't be honest with him, I'll tell him come address the committee next meeting.
Does the, rescue people, do they come like at odd hours and stuff, a lot of times at night?
They generally haul at night because it's easier to keep the van cool and the dog, it's dark and the dogs and cats still go to sleep instead of barking and, I mean, some of those trips will have like 69 dogs or 68 dogs. You know, they might be small dogs, but they're all and to get that many dogs barking and carrying on it all at one time, it can drive you crazy. And drive all the way to Illinois or New York with that many, barking dogs. So they try to do most of them at night. It's just more.
And we do have help from the volunteer groups tonight. Somebody has volunteered to come to animal control and pick up the animals and take them to Crossville. So, I mean, we will pick up the slack whenever we can, but, there are gonna be times under some circumstances that employees of animal control are gonna have to do that. But, this is one place volunteers can help.
And that was the question that I was gonna ask a while ago, but I forgot about, so it came back to me.
Any more, so we get to the budget. Motion to send the budget. Motion to rescind the first budget.
I'll make a motion. Rescind the first budget. Right. Motion by Wiltshire. Second. Second by Boyd. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to pass the new budget.
Motion to extend the new budget to budget and finance as written with recommendation of budget and finance on the increase.
Motion to send the new budget as written. New budget as written to budget and finance.
Recommended by budget and finance.
Motion to send the new budget as written to budget and finance as recommended by,
Budget and finance.
I didn't know they had recommended it, but
They had, on the director's salary, they had recommended it.
let me read this again. Motion to send the new budget as written to budget and finance as recommended by budget and finance.
Correct.
Committee. Okay. Boyd made the motion. second by,
I'll say.
All in favor? No, because we haven't proved no raises for nobody.
no raises have been approved. This is actually just a recommendation, though. Which,
Any more questions?
I'd like to ask you, Mr. Chairman, if you could, since you're gonna be talking to the county executive, if you could find out how much.
That's our resolution. You're gonna be talking to the county executive.
I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about something else. I'd like you to, if you could, to find out how much money, if any money, from donations from public groups, individuals has been made and where it's at.
You go to the general fund.
Well, I'd like to know, how much.
Well, I want you to go ask Linda
down there.
in the account.
I'll do
I
that.
know what money go, all money go to general fund unless it's been directed where it goes. It's just like $50. $50 says money go to food service, that's where the money gotta go. You can't do nothing with it. Now, you gotta have a plan. All money go to general fund right now. You can call state comptroller, he can tell you. You call CTS, he will tell you.
Has Applebee's made their donation yet?
Most
I'm letting them not to right now.
Yeah.
has been donated to animal control, like the general fund. Or Linda or Darlene.
Last year, I believe it was $2,788 and a few cents and change, I believe.
Any more questions? Not motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.